Moments ago, the president said he was signing an emergency order instructing the Secretary of Homeland Security to immediately pay TSA agents in order to address this emergency situation and quickly stop what he called the Democrat chaos at airports. This announcement comes at a critical time for TSA workers on day 41 of the partial government shutdown. They were due to miss their second full paycheck this weekend. The workers have been calling out in massive numbers, leading to record airport wait times, the longest in TSA's 24-year history. The Senate is still at an impasse over a DHS funding deal. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says Democratic lawmakers have what he thinks is the GOP's last and final offer to fund the department. No word yet on what the Democrats think of that offer. They are demanding changes to the way ICE agents conduct immigration enforcement after agents killed 2 American citizens who were protesting their actions in Minneapolis. Amid the ongoing travel chaos, there is this hopeful story, however, captured on grainy video. Here you can see ICE agents, which are now working at airports, this time in this video at JFK Airport. This ICE agent rushed to rescue a baby who had stopped breathing. For 2 full minutes, the officer performed the Heimlich maneuver on the infant, finally restoring the baby's breathing, saving the baby's life. Joining us now is Chris Sununu, former New Hampshire governor and now president and CEO of Airlines for America, and Chris Cillizza, NewsNation's political contributor and author of the So What letter on Substack. All right, Governor, I'm starting with you with this late-breaking news. Where is Trump ordering the brand new DHS secretary to find the funds to pay the agents? Well, the
Department of Homeland Security received a lot of money, like well over $100 billion
from the Big Beautiful
Bill. And so what he's effectively saying is, my guess is, we haven't actually seen the order yet, use those funds, release those funds. Today's the first day of Mark Wayne Mullen on the job, and he's telling the new secretary, release those funds, get these folks paid, enough is enough. Clearly he wanted to follow the right process. Congress should have figured it out. We're going on 5 weeks now.
But why didn't he do it before now? Why wait? I mean, some of these
because
TSA
it's not the process, right? The process is Congress has the power of the purse, and he's saying, I'm not waiting for you guys anymore. These are federal employees. We have to move. We're going to get this thing done. Now, Congress still has a job to do. They still have to close it out. But what he's saying is basically in the interim until
use these funds to pay them.
Funds, yeah.
Okay. And how quickly would the TSA agents get that money?
Theoretically, probably not for a few days, because there's a third-party payment processing system like a lot of businesses have. So is it going to show up like, in their paycheck first thing tomorrow morning? No, probably not. But it at least allows them to come back with a lot of confidence that this is over and they can move forward.
Chris, that's a win. Those TSA agents, and we heard testimony on Capitol Hill this week. Some of them are living in their cars. Some of them are selling their own blood plasma to pay bills. This has been really hard on them.
Yeah, I think that we lose the human effects here, because I think you see people waiting in line and they're annoyed, and we talk about the politics.
Well, and people missing flights and therefore missing funerals or important, life-changing events.
And I just think the governor makes this point well, which is this is Washington's responsibility. I will push back slightly in that Donald Trump has not often said, you know what, let's let Congress do the things that are Congress's job, and I'm going to stay out of it. Like, he's exerted the executive office very widely, but this is Congress's job. I'll just reiterate, the most basic thing Congress is supposed to do is keep the government funded. I mean, it's literally, it's like paying your bills at your house. It's the first thing that you do. The fact that we can't do it, I understand why Democrats are doing this. They think they have the high ground in this. I would say take the win and move on. The longer lines like this look, the longer Donald Trump can look like he's riding to the rescue of TSA agents and the people who are inconvenienced by these long lines. You just never know how politics plays out. Take the win when you can, move on. Don't wait until the wind turns sour.
In essence, President Trump is riding to the rescue. I mean, this is going to, listen, even if those TSA agents don't get that money in their bank account tomorrow, they know it's coming and they know it's over.
Yes, they have some level of reassurance. Yes, we are going to get paid. Again, so many people in this country live paycheck to paycheck. Tomorrow will be the second paycheck that these folks have missed. I'm glad, Don. I think you should take partisanship out of it. Be thankful Donald Trump stepped in and is, as the governor said, I would guess, tapping the massive amount of money that was dedicated to the DHS in the one big beautiful bill. But however you do it, focus on the end result, right? Focus on the outcome, not necessarily the actor who's bringing out the outcome. Like, liberals should not boo this. Congress should do their job. This is their fault. We can blame Democrats, we can blame Republicans. Donald Trump, in some ways, is doing, I would say, the right thing. It also happens to be a smart thing politically, but the right thing, because you can't have people going months without paychecks.
No, and we also, Governor, can't have our country's air travel going through the crisis that it has. We were facing, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said, small airports were on the verge of closing. Flights were getting canceled. People, this is not just first of all, people were standing in line longer than their flights were.
Oh, sure.
And they were missing, this isn't just, I'm late to my vacation. Some of them were missing funerals for family members.
And this is the second one in 6 months. In 6 months, we've had the two longest shutdowns in history, and the victims are the hard workers in the aviation system, the people of this country who are just trying to travel, that have nothing to do with the political wrangling going back and forth. So the question we have in the airline industry is, okay, how can we provide certainty that this doesn't happen again? Well, there are actual bills that are sitting there in Congress that they could vote. The Aviation Funding Stability Act that says air traffic controllers, and there's another bill that says TSA agents, they are going to get paid regardless of future government shutdowns, because there's no sense that this isn't going to happen again. September, authorization comes up yet again.
Could happen again.
Of course it's going to happen. So we're scared to death. The American public should be scared to death. The good news for Congress is, while you blew this one, you still have a chance to vote for one or both of these bills that are before you to make sure that the American public isn't punished by your idiotic politics.
Yeah. I don't know, Chris. I was kind of looking forward to seeing Congress get told by Delta Airlines, you don't get your normal VIP treatment, get in line like everybody else.
I will tell you, if the lines, the hours-long lines don't do it politically, the revelation, and I think most people didn't know this, that members of Congress can cut the TSA line, that is sure to spur, I think, some level of congressional action. But the governor, just to echo one point he made, you know what Congress is good at? Kicking the can down the road. Yeah. That's the problem. We're not going to solve this for any long period of time. They're going to make some narrow-term deal that come the fall, we're fighting the same fight.
And going on recess. They get to go on recess tomorrow.
2 weeks.
They'll be running out like they're running out of the schoolhouse like a bunch of 10-year-olds.
Don't make me mad. Great, Chris Cillizza, Governor John Sununu.
Or Chris Sununu, too. Sometimes I play both on TV.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Chris Sununu is my favorite Sununu. Everyone knows that.
Chris Sununu, Chris Cillizza, my two favorite Chris's. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.